Hello, mages of every color. Welcome back. It's Jimothy the Blue here. We're going to go through and play another league with the creativity, the persist creativity list. Our last video we left off 4-1 league, went really well. I made a couple changes to the sideboard. I want to test these white creatures over the Terrestodons. I think Ashen Rider can fill that role, and I think Sarah's Emissary can win some games on its own. In instances where just Archon might not be enough, or in addition to the Archons. Otherwise, I think the core 60 kind of stayed the same. I really like the Bitter Reunion in kind of the flex slot. But as far if you're looking to change things in the deck list, you know, the Bitter Reunions, the numbers of Bolt and Push, as well as Thoughtseize are kind of all flex. You see different variations showing up in 5-0s of these 12 cards. I like the full Thoughtseize because if you have a hand with Thoughtseize, Archon Persist, you can set up for just a turn 2 Persist without Faithless Looting. In a pinch. Obviously, it's not all the time, but I like that slight upside of Thoughtseize, also just hitting everything in the format. And losing 2 life is something we're not too worried about. I like Fatal Push and Bolt. I like the split of them for removal. We benefit from removing creatures so that our Archons have maximum impact to hit the last creature. Also protects our wrenn and 6s and, you know, allows us to keep them from pressuring our life total too much. And then, yeah, I like Bitter Reunion as a way to discard Archons or Bolts when they're bad, or Pushes when they're bad, or Thoughtseize when they're bad. Or extra copies of Fable or Faithless Looting, right, to draw cards, but then the slight upside of 1 mana being able to give Archon haste. I really like that on sort of the backside, so to speak, of Bitter Reunion. We'll go ahead and we're not playing Casino Royale. That's a much worse, but probably just as fun deck. Going forward, I mean, the format seems to really be settling. I think we still have a couple days here where people are going to be testing basically anything and everything. So I don't think we can expect it to look a certain way yet. Like, we might face whatever, you know. The last league I was playing against Merfolk, and I mean, I don't even remember what else. There was some weird soul tie list. Obviously, there's some temptation to be like, wait, Faithless Looting could be anything. It could be a boat. You know how much we want one of those. It's like, well, I think we want a mull for one of those. I don't think a 5-land hand is worth keeping. And if we're discarding lands, we don't really want to discard a bunch of mines because we want them in the later game. And so discarding them all on turn 1 is not great. Or 2 of them at least. Wow. Go from 5 lands to 1. Classic. Would you ever get a 1-land hand for real in real life with a 24-land deck? Not likely. I think it might be worth keeping. We only have to hit 1 fetch land. We can get a black. Well, we don't have a black green, but we can get the green, pick up a fetch land, and just hit our land drops. I'd dump the push because we don't necessarily have a black source yet. No, is the second creativity better? We'd probably keep these 2 cards because they can help us out, and or we can discard them if they're not good. It's a slightly risky keep, but let's see what we're facing. That was weird how the Tamio like came out of the corner here. Haven't noticed that before. Probably a control list. Oh, we got an extra copy of wrenn and 6. If our opponent happens to force negation this, we're actually in a really bad spot. Okay, we failed to hit our second land in our 24-land deck. I'd love to look at the stats on that. I kind of want all 3 of these. I guess I'll keep the push. We can bolt this on the backside, but not after they've +2. Keep the bolt. It's easier to cast. What are the stats on that? I might just lose this one. Should just bookmark this hypergeometric calculator. Population size 53, number of successes 23, sample size 3 draws. Only 1 success in sample. 82% to hit. Also 40% to hit 2 lands. Yikes. Our deck is beating the odds. Look at us go. There they are. Guess we dump the persist. We're not going to be using that anytime soon. I want to fetch, shock, bolt this, I think. And we'll have Thoughtseize next turn as well as blue-green for wrenn 6. So yeah, we'll dump this. I can't keep bolt and Thoughtseize, so we'll dump the Thoughtseize. I want to keep the lands, I think. Boseiju also, now I think about it, I might just want Boseiju to like kill stuff over and over again. So we'll just get the stompiest of grounds here. We can't play wrenn and use this unless we draw another land. They have Metallic Rebuke, of course. Well, at least it didn't counter our rate of looting, so we actually get to play lands. Play some spells in this game. It might be too late. I mean, if they, with what's they're called, tokens. They're making clue tokens and construct tokens. Like they're going to be putting quite a bit of pressure on us here that we might not be able to keep up with. I guess we don't. We actively don't want to play this. It doesn't play into creativity well. But we have the one fetch, so I can wrenn 6, pick up the fetch, get a second stompy. Do we have that? I guess we have to see if this actually resolves. Forget if we have another stomp ground. We don't. I guess we get the proving ground. Can't Boseiju this turn. But this makes us better at casting Boseiju and black cards. Or do I just want to get Rakkus Theater? I think we'll take the Surveil. I don't think we need double green. I guess we could do Boseiju twice in a turn. Graveyard that. It's hard because our best play next turn is probably just to creativity, but they can equip this here with Mox Opal. We're just dead. They make another token. These both become 8/8s. So yeah, we're actually just dead. Because I didn't have double stomping ground. Although I would have had to shock myself, but I could have killed this token. Anyways, clunky start, clunky hand. It is what it is. Meltons are good. Another Boseiju's good. Sarah's Emissary might be worth it. We could name Artifact, and I don't know that they really have any creatures that can deal damage to us. But Veil Summer also might be worth it, because they are playing counter magic. We'll likely see more. I think we trim here. I think I still like Thoughtseizes because they're playing counter magic. We might push over Bolt, I think, on average. To kill things, although Meltdown kills things pretty well. Yeah, I think I want to just trim these and bring in Veils. I think I'll stick with Archons. I'm torn. Wow, no lands. There we go. We definitely want to keep turn 2 Archon. Although I don't know that this will resolve. We'll go for it. We'll pitch the second looting, I think. will get us a blood crypt. Pitch an Archon and a land or bolt. I'll do land. Might be sad and we might not draw lands, but we technically should draw way more lands and keeping action in our hands better. I notably am keeping the second persist in case it gets countered, then the next turn we can try again. It's a weird start. No 0 drops. Oh, they can't. I mean, they could have exactly force of negation, I suppose. Look at that, we drew the land. I mean, I had another land, but do I just want basic mountain? I think I'll shock myself again just to have green mana when we want it. They exile a thought monitor. Okay. Well, they play force as well. Very good against our deck. Of course, last league I was playing Neobrand, a deck that folds to force negation. So naturally, I'm playing another deck that folds the force of negation on average. They hit the Mox Amber. That's going to be good for them next turn. Just kind of a more mid-rangey affinity list, I guess. I don't know officially what you'd want to call it. I think here I'm going to get a basic mountain, and I'm going to go ahead and Thought Seize. Oh, I can't. I should have got Blood Crypt. Ah, that was dumb. Well, I guess we'll just go for persist again. I should have just gone to 11 and Thought Seize first, because I could have taken this force negation. So that was a big misplay. We should be way better off this game. The one upside, of course, is that our opponent went down, is only at 2 cards now. But this is its own threat. Annoyingly. I'll Thought Seize now, I guess. Oh, I shouldn't have done this right away. Do I want Dwarven Mine preemptively? No, I'd rather Surveil. Yep, another land. Well, we've done good drawing our lands now. Hopefully we can draw some more action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands in the graveyard, 4 in play. So 10 out of 14 cards. We definitely are due to not draw some lands. Opponent not making a token here? Oh, they can't. They don't have 3 artifacts. Well, that's good. They get their 3rd here. Soul Guide Lantern. That's fair. Oh, they played their looting, knowing that we're just digging for things. I guess they can activate it in response to another persist, but we've already used 2, so unlikely to get one. At this point, I should hold up any fetches we get. Another Thought Seize, useless. Cool. We both kind of run out of steam. We just hope to draw better. We do get a lot more redraws than they do on average. That's good for them. Not good for us. Especially now that it gains life and actually deals damage to us. So we'll hold on to this fetch in play so we can get a Dwarven Mine. We don't want to do it preemptively because they could have some way to remove the dwarf token. So now we just hope they draw a land or something and we can draw creativity. But my misplay probably cost this game. So don't do that. Don't fetch before you know exactly what you want to do. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't pay attention to the mana. I was like, I'm going to Thought Seize persist, but then I fetched a land that can't do that. So you got to pay attention to that sort of thing. We still need 3 more lands to actually cast this. I could Thought Seize it on my hand, but I already have one in the graveyard. I suppose I could go get a Surveil land with this, but like I said, I want my creativities to be live. Man. The Saga draw was really good for them because now they can make tokens and I'm just dead in 2 turns. So we really only get like 1 more draw, right? They make a token, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna do it, Jim. Technically makes a blocker, I suppose, so I'm going to do this and see what we can take. Take the cannoneer, I suppose. So I'm going to have to chump block whatever this this big construct, although I can give it trample, I forgot. Trample and lifelink. Man, Shadow Spear is so good with Saga. So that has trample. He makes another one, I'm dead. Could make another one and go get boots and equip. 1, 2, tap, equip. Can't do Shadow Spear that way, but I'm dead because they're both 6, 6, 7, 7s. I can only block one. Yep. No, not making a token. Keep in mind we put 3 meltdowns in our deck as well as an extra Beseiju. Would have been nice to draw any of those. Drew all these lands and none of them were Beseiju. So I can block, but I'm still going to take 3 damage. So, sorry. It's 3 over what I need to take, and I can only block 2. There's a persist, which he had countered. There's a useless last seas. Wow. There's a meltdown. They were in there. Now, most Magic players would just be like, I'm so unlucky. I got flooded. Blah, blah, blah. I made a misplay. That's why we lost that game. They would not have been able to deal with an Archon on turn 3 had I fetched the right land. So just keep that in mind. This is a decent keep. Could just discard Looting and Fable if we need to, if what we draw we want to keep, but ideally we draw into an Archon and have a turn 2 persist. So I'll go ahead and get the Blood Crypt now, knowing we're likely fetching a Stomping Ground next turn for wrenn. If we don't hit an Archon. Which we have something like 40% to hit it, I think. 30. The turn 1 Force of Negation? Well, that's... Apparently, if my experience is any gauge, everyone is just playing Force of Negation decks. So, 52... Number of success is only 4, our sample size 3. 21%. Do we go for another Looting or Wrenn 6? We know he's playing Spell Pierce. He might also be playing Snare. I think we just go ahead for Wrenn 6 now. If it resolves, which, you know, I'd say there's probably like a 50-50 chance. But making land drops and eventually being a win con is really good against a control deck. Seems like a Spell Snare. Pierce. Okay. Why do you have to say no twice to Pierce every time? I got no mana. I already said no. Why do you make me click it again? This is a little awkward as a third land because we can't Fable off of it. So I might just have to Looting next turn. Not bolting themselves, but they likely have Pierce or Snare. Man. Just drawing all the clunky cards. Archon, Fable, and then we get to play a tapped Dwarven Mine, which is so obnoxious. Would have been able to go for Persist this turn. If it had been any other land. That's unlucky. I can complain about that. Again, there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 more, 7. So 7 misses out of 5, 20 out of 19, so there are 12 hits. 12 other lands we could hit. Now I draw the creativity. Well, I think we go for this over the Fable. Force them to have Snare, Pierce, Counter Spell. Oh, they didn't have it. That's why I forced them, I suppose. Still didn't hit our land. They discarded a Bolt. Okay. Having really awkward draws with either too many lands or no lands. I'm trying to think what answers blue-red has to this. I guess they have to get types for an Holy Heat or double bolt, and they didn't keep a bolt. Flame of Venor, that's one that does 5 damage, right? But yeah, if he's not dealing with this turn, then we get to attack with it. It should be lights out. I mean, that ends up being a 6 to 8, 14-point swing. Eluding. We'll just go to combat and swing first. Please draw a land. Well, I didn't specify it had to be on tapped. It's my bad. It's my bad, guys. Okay, they go to 6. I get to play a land, and I'll just go fable. It's kind of like a weirdly must counter spell, because if they don't counter it, we now have another threat, as well as eventually a way to make copies of Archon. So it's like, I mean, we're dead if Archon's in play next turn. But this sets us up to be able to, if we draw a land, we can creativity for 2, but I feel like they're just digging for Flame of Venor, I assume. The nice part is they kind of have to tap out. Not really, but if they're also playing Dwarven Mine, I wonder if they are a creativity deck. They're the old creativity turns deck. Beautiful. If you're not familiar, this guy looks at the top 7, right? Yep. And you get to cast instant or sorcery, which includes Time Warps, as well as Savor the Moment is the 3-mana one. And he has Vigilance and Haste, so he just keeps swinging, and so they just swing for 5 in the air over and over again. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. Well, I think Veil is worth it here. I could select it. This might be funny to play. If I name Creature, does he have to... I should have looked. Lorehold. Does he have to connect? It's when he attacks. Okay. If he was going off all the turns, he'd eventually find a way to deal with the... I mean, he's played Sink into Stupor. He could bounce the Sarah's Emissary. If I name Instant, this could... If I name Sorcery, that doesn't help because they're not targeting. So yeah, I don't think it's worth it. The question is Surgical worth it? I'd be willing to Surgical either a Force or Lorehold, or after he casts a Time Warp, I could take it maybe. I'll put that in there. I think pushes are useless because they can't hit Lorehold, and that's going to be their only creature. Well, I could hit their token, I guess. That's hard. Do I want to be trying to remove their tokens? Probably not on average. I'll keep the bolts. This is a 2-mana kill Lorehold spell. I think we'll play it like this. See how it goes. I don't know. I feel like once they play Lorehold, I guess they can't protect him with Force and Negation. Like this, I'm more likely to get this off, maybe. The other thing is, like, the upside of this is its worst case scenario is, like, make a token, draw a card. Which is a creativity target for us. Man, I feel bad that misplay cost us the first match. Well, we would have at least had a game 3, right? I lost it in 2, or was that game 3? Wish I could see the league. I can only see it while I'm in here. League details. Yeah, 2. Turn the game. Okay, that's fair. It says he's left the game. Did he, like, really leave? I just realized that. Did our opponent quit? Or does that always say that when you go to sideboarding? I'm not entirely sure. I hope it's not a timeout. If it is, I might have to figure out how to edit this all out. If we're gonna sit here for 10 minutes because they got mad. Like, man. No, it says he joined the game. So yeah, it is just sideboarding. They didn't know how to sideboard. It's interesting because it feels like it's pretty straightforward. Like, bring in your counter spells, counter creativity and persist, and you're good to go. Why do you make it look like this is clickable? I feel like they originally designed this so that you could actually click on linked cards and it would show you. Like the preview would show you. Is there a way? If I do this, oh, you can. Never mind. I misspoke against you, MTGO. I'm sorry. I just never use this because it's so annoying to watch it like switch all the time. Every time you click on something. Anyways, I digress. What do we got here? We got 3 lands, 2 of them tapped. Persist, double creativity, and a Thoughtseize. I feel like Surveil into Thoughtseize isn't a bad start, but this hand doesn't do a whole lot after that, unless we happen to Surveil and Archon, and then this is nuts. The biggest problem with this is no fetch, which means like our wrenn and 6s are dead draws. It's probably best to mull. Sand isn't like a lot better, but we'll lead on Crypt's Thoughtseize and then looting, so we have our best selection of cards to discard. Depending, I guess if we draw exactly Archon, we might just looting turn 1. Bite my tongue. Well, am I a man of my word or am I not? Let's draw into the persist, huh? We didn't. Yeah, we'll ditch one of these lands. This means next turn I can Thoughtseize, fetch the green Surveil land. What do they got onto? They're just holding up counterspell. Oh, maybe I just play this. Counter my Thoughtseize. I was going to take a counterspell anyway, and it saves me 2 life. Yep, thank you. We can land drops, but we're not pressuring them at all. They're also not pressuring us at all. But if they get Lorehold, or die in 3-4 attacks, he only has to hit 3 times. Yeah. Okay, they might be setting up for the turn 4. It's a Healy. Is it just like a make tokens alt win con? It's very confusing. I guess we're surveilling. Maybe I just want to flashback looting, honestly. That might just be better than anything else we can do. I think I get the mountain. Don't think I'm... Okay. Spasaju worth it? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. We're just looking at a bunch of lands. Let's see if we're dead this turn. Well, he might take a lot of turns. Not going for it. Okay. We got a creativity, but I want to do it with Veil of Summer backup, and I don't want to expose the token. So I'll just play my Surveil land here. Keep a second of creativity. I think that's fine because we have a fetch for another. Could have gone end of turn, fetch Dwarven Mine into another Dwarven Mine next turn to try to do it for 2. Oh no, because I want to hold up this. So here they go. They're going for it. We might be too slow. Yikes. I unfortunately can't do anything except for draw a card. What is this? Wait, no, this gives me hexproof from black and blue. Doesn't protect me though. polymorphing. Wish I could give his creature hexproof from blue. That would be funny. Okay, so let's hope he whiffs. I'm taking 6, so he only needs to hit twice. And I mean, our Archon isn't like lights out either. Yeah, time warp with this is fun too. So I'm dead this turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. I guess let's try drawing a card. I'm trying to think what we could draw that could actually. Oh, we already knew what our top card was. Haha. What was our other top card? We could just chain veils and creativities forever. Another bolt? Maybe? Over like Bitter Reunion? Or just Fable. Fable's just too slow when they're winning on turn 4. On average. Maybe we do want pushes. Just to remove his tokens. I don't want Meltdown because it's sorcery speed. Okay, we're on the play. What is with these Dwarven Mine hands? I just need an untapped land turn to keep a wrenn hand, I think. We go mine into Stomping Ground, wrenn, pick that up. I think it might be worth it. We can reunion. We have bolt. I think this is playable. If our wrenn gets countered, obviously it feels bad, but I think just making our land drops guaranteed is pretty powerful. We have ways to draw cards and remove a token. Otawara, preordain. Interesting, the blue-red creativity. Could play the build, like we could play a blue-red creativity build. It doesn't play Lorehold and still just plays Archon. We're just getting like steam vents for preordains and have force negations, and it also uses splash white for Teferi. You could play wrenn and Teferi. It could be like 4 or 5 color. You're fetch shocking anyway, it's in this list. Like fetch shocking for other colors, it's just like there is more powerful cards, but you do have less consistency. I like the Jund version for persist, right? That's the main reason we're playing this version. The persist line feels explosive in modern. Forces this, the one upside is he 2-for-1s himself, and we have another one. The downside is we don't really have another way to get another green source so that we can wrenn with Veil, and so maybe that's something to look at with this deck. I think I just copied the mana base, but I guess we have Boseiju. We only have, what, 4? Maybe I just want this to be another untapped source, but you also see we have a lot of flooded situations where we want Surveyor lands, so yeah. Next when we try to wrenn, pick this up, go get the Surveil green land, I think, so that we can hold up Veil easier. I assume this gets countered too, though. It means we have to... Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. So it would stink kind of wasting our mind, so to speak. I'll hold this up. I might end up wanting to bolt something. Or Veil, I guess. Not sure what I would Veil in response to, but it's possible. Big question is am I going to try to set up for creativity with Veil back up, or am I just going to go for creativity next turn? Force them to have another counter spell. The fact they're not doing anything over here makes me want to... I want to get a black source, I think. I think I'll draw that. I think we'll get the lay of the land, so to speak. Figure out what we're facing. Or he has to counter our Thoughtseize. And then, oh, I think I'd pay for this. I was gonna say we could bid a reunion, but if this resolves through the spell pierce, no, yeah, another spell pierce. Okay, perfect. 2 spell pierces for 1 thought seize. Love that. I'm gonna get the green surveil in now. Could, I guess he could just have it next turn. Maybe I shouldn't have paid for it and held up bolt, but let's see. Do you have fetch plus creativity? And you had double spell pierce to protect it? Yeah. So it seemed unlikely. Which means we should be pretty well set here. We can just play this Dwarven Mine. We'll return the Bloodstained Mire, play the Dwarven Mine. Creativity with Veil backup. You have to have double counter spells. Seems unlikely you'd have 2. Or do I want to thin the deck out? Let's thin it. We're technically drawing cards this turn and everything. We don't want to do anything after. Haley, I'm holding up Veil Summer, can you tell? We're also getting close to alting this with a bolt in hand, which would be fun. Hey, we did it. The nice thing is this can block Lorehold as well. Yeah, we'll just pass the turn. Don't have 2 mana for this, but we can Veil or bolt something. If it's a dwarf here, I'm just going to bolt it now. No dwarf. Okay. 3 cards in hand, none of them are counterspell. Draw for turn. Let's see what he does. Makes a dwarf. Gonna do it. Polymorphs the dwarf. This is only a 5/5. I have a 6/6, so he also only left up blue mana. Oh, he gets the trigger even. What did he get? Gotta savor the moment and a bolt. He can bolt it, I suppose. I can't respond to that. But they'd still trade at least. Why is there 9 reveal cards? He only reveals 7. Oh no, he can only look. What are these revealed from? Oh, from his creativity. Okay. I'm trying to think. I guess he could maybe polymorph our Archon. He probably knows we're only playing Archons though. That would kill his Lorehold. What else could he do? I mean, the best thing to do is cast another turn, lose this, and hope to like eventually be able to like bounce this as well as make another Lorehold or something. Probably only plays 2 or 3 of these. The old list played 2, so he can't like throw them away. I assume we win. I don't think there's many options. I wonder how many polymorphs he plays. If that's like 3 or 4, or if it's just like 4 creativity, 1 or 2 polymorph probably. Especially great that this one wasn't persisted because it's like it's not even a trade unless they also hit bolt off of this trigger. And even then, I'll take an even trade. He is going to bolt it. There's nothing I can draw into that stops this. At least not that I can think of, so I'm just gonna let it happen. The other option, wait, I don't even have to trade. I just won't block, because he'll have to sack it on my attack, right? I'll take 5. This whole time I was like, oh, I gotta block. I was like, wait, no, I don't. Maybe he was banking on me blocking. That was what I was thinking, to be fair. Let's just attack first. Please sacrifice a creature and discard a card. Cool. Go to 6. Feeling pretty good here. See, I could put him to even lower, but I won't. Play out the fetch. We want to hold up all our instant speed stuff, but I think I'm going to play a Bitter Reunion here. Discarding our other Bitter Reunion. That does put us to 8. Awkwardly. Just see what your last card is. It's another polymorph, so we'll take that. Cool. Do you have an out? I also have a way to remove Lorehold plus Veil or fetch push anything you make. He's got a time warp. Okay. Run it back. Having played a lot of taking turns decks, this is the worst feeling to be like, look, I can take another turn, but you don't even make a land drop. Okay. Take another turn. And what do you got now? Concede. Thank you very much. That felt good. That went well. Well played, opponent. Weird matchup. For sure. Definitely saw the power of ours there is, I think, better on average than Lorehold. And like I was saying, even if you're going to play the blue-red, just play Archons. It really is the best. Keep in mind that creativity can literally go get you Emrakul, and we choose to play Archon because this trigger off Archon is better than having a 15/15 Annihilator 6 in play, mostly because Emrakul can just get like Solituded or Leyline Binding. To be fair, there isn't really a non-white answer to Emrakul. This is a pretty good start for us. We have all our colors, and we get to turn 2 wrenn. I think I like that on average. We'll put a looting in the bin. We already have one. We're not really a deck that wants to chain lootings, unlike other decks we've played with looting. Good luck, and Badger. Spire Bluff, that feels like a storm land. Are we playing against Storm? Nope. Grixis Oculus. Okay. We are just going to face only decks that play Faithless Looting today. That is our goal. Or, sorry, Force and Negation. All Force and Negation decks. Lots of variation in the Force and Negation deck, but all Force and Negation. I already have a Blood Crypt in hand. I think I'm just going to get pad our life total a little bit here. I use the fetch instead of Blood Crypt because I want to have a target for our wrenn and 6, especially with looting in hand, even if we end up looting it away. Interesting. I mean, this deck probably doesn't play like Spells Pierce or Counter Spells anymore. Oh, they just persist it, of course. I haven't actually faced this this build. Last 14 days, Grixis Murktide. This is not the same one. So they added persist in addition to unearth. Maybe they cut the... This one also isn't playing Murktide. This Grixis Murktide list has 0 Murktide. How surprising. Tale as old as time. Okay. I unfortunately do not have want to draw into a push for this, I guess. We got our own persist. It's awkward because I kind of want to play my land first and pick it up with wrenn and then looting. I think we'll do that. I think I'll just get our best land here, which is Blood Crypt. And then pick it up so we have more cards in hand. And then cast looting. We either want to hit an Archon for persist or fatal push. We hit none of those things. We have creativity next turn, but it's kind of too late. He'll have manifested twice by then, and he can sack those to Archon, although at least it stops us from attacking. I guess I can bolt one of them right now. I don't think I'm playing Fable. And I probably don't need... It doesn't matter what land I pitch, because I can just pick it up. So yeah. Do we want a bitter reunion? I can't afford to give it haste next turn. There's nothing I could draw that I could like play. So yeah, we're just gonna try to bolt this now. Helps us out a little bit. Oh, our opponent, I didn't realize, has Archon as well. Did they discard that after? Or did they choose to persist the Oculus instead? Huh. And killing me, not wrenn, which is makes sense. Frog? Nope, they have their own cruelty. Ah, we have to sack our Planeswalker. So yeah, we can make our own Archon, but they just sack the manifest token. And then when they swing, we have to sack our Archon. So we're dead. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I think we definitely want our surgicals. Turn to Earth. I'm assuming it might actually be worth it. Now that I think about it. All they're doing is through creatures. They can't target us with the Archon triggers. Take out one Archon. They might be playing surgicals of their own. Again, fables I think are just too slow in this one. I like bitter. If we'd had, again, if our Archon was attacking first, we would have been fine, I think. Ashen Rider probably isn't worth it. The other question is, do I bring in Veils? They probably are playing forces. I guess they're probably better than bolts most of the time. Something like that. Let's do that. I always want to keep one bolt in if you're playing wrenn in 6. Again, I don't think the game's going that long. We get to turn 2 wrenn into looting, and we have creativity I think we keep. It's not perfect. But it's something. Especially with wrenn in 6, we'll always put that in the graveyard. Is this like our third time keeping a double wrenn hand, by the way? Feels like that's happening a lot. We've seen looting and wrenn in our starting hands, and we have not seen a lot of Archons. Or sideboard cards. I don't think we've seen any of our sideboard cards in our starting hands. They got their own looting. Because they get to play Unearth and Persist, their lootings definitely feel better on average. We get to play Creativity, but like that isn't enabled by looting. They do get an Oculus in the bin, so kind of expect that to hit us next turn. I think we still go ahead and shock for the Crypt here. Just allows us to cast our spells if we draw them. So we expect to get Unearthed or Persisted on this Oculus and be facing down a Manifest token on our turn. What's crazy is they can Unearth and hold up Spell Pierce, which is just nuts. No, they have to Persist. Okay, that's slightly better for us. Because technically, wrenn plus bolt deals with this. Did I have wrenn plus bolt last game and miss it? I think I did. I think I bolted a manifest and I could have minused wrenn. That is a misplay. We'll plus first. Do I want to fetch? I think I might want to fetch first. I'm really hoping to hit persist. No persist. We'll still discard an Archon and one of these lands. I'm just trying to think if it really matters which. No persist. Do we go for the dig for a push? I think so. All these extra lands in hand and an extra wrenn. We hit the Thoughtseize. That's not as good. Okay. I suppose we'll Thoughtseize still because we want this creativity to resolve next turn and we can't afford to wait another turn and hold up mana. So we're going to Dwarven Mind creativity. Hope to take force negation, exactly. Okay. Let's hope they don't draw another one. And that this, they don't draw a land for this second Oculus. Our creativities aren't as good if they hit Archon, but if they hit Serra Emissary and we can just hit, we can pick creature, and I don't know if they have something that can remove it other than their own Archon. Man, this does so much damage so fast. Digging for the force. Put a card on top, that's not good for us. Oh. It was a Thoughtseize they put on top. The one thing we have insulation against. Again, unfortunately, they could just sack a manifest token, but we can at least block this. As long as they don't get their own Archon in play, our Archon can hopefully hold down the fort. Their Oculus can eventually go wide around it if we're not attacking, but I think we're probably attacking. Let's see if we hit the Serra Emissary, that would be funny. We did. Cool. They're probably like, what? Again, they probably play like Sink into Stupor. I'm trying to think what else they have that can remove this. If they make an Archon, they can't target us. Good one. They're probably like, wait a minute. There's targets? No way. Yep. We stop Archon triggers with Leyline of Sanctity. It also works having protection. So they thought they were going to make a sack it. I don't know if they have an answer for this. Remember, I said this would be good. It also can swing without being blocked. Yeah, go ahead. Swing in. They killing wrenn? No, just me. I will gladly kill your Oculus for free and take no damage. Sure. I'm very confused. Maybe they don't understand how protection works. Maybe they didn't think it gave itself protection. Maybe they're just trying to fill a graveyard. I gotta consider their options over there. They use this persist, so that we know they have push and another Oculus in hand. Feeling pretty good with our Serra Emissary. Oh, we drew another one. Let's grab a land. Let's just flashback looting here. Because it would be great to make another, we'll put the Emissary in the graveyard. Click this. Don't want to fetch shock, turn the earth. I don't think I really need to. We'll just wait on that. I don't really need to Thoughtseize them. I think if I attack, I might lose the wrenn, but it only gives them one turn, so I think I'll attack. I also can turn the earth in response to, I guess, something targeting something in the graveyard, but Again, I don't really care about them making more creatures. I could Thoughtseize them, but again, I don't think I care about any cards in their hand. Sure. Okay. It's like I genuinely don't know if they have an answer to this. They might in their sideboard. They probably play like Sink into Stupor, but they'd have to have exactly land plus that. So, anyways, do I keep them in? Do I do the bait and switch? The old bait and switch? Do I want bolts again? No. I think surgicals and veils are better than that on average. I think this is a good split. The 2 to 3. Ashen Rider also deals with their stuff well, but I think I like the Emissary. Do they play an Otawara, maybe? Let's look. Let's look at this Grixis Murktide that doesn't play Murktide. They play one sink. Oh, Terminate. That makes sense. They might play a Terminate. They might play Toxic Deluge. That's a pretty dangerous way to deal with it. So Terminate. So I'll name it Instant if I get both of them. I just wanted to look at what I'd name. I think I'm still always naming creature first. Biggest struggle here is if I want to lead on Theater or if I want to lead on a Thoughtseize. But I think this is a pretty keepable hand. I really want this to go get a Stomping Ground though, not Shock and a Blood Crypt. Oh, they're Thoughtseizing us. Did I take the Looting? The Persist? The Veil? Will I take my own Thoughtseize? Thoughtseize a Thoughtseize? Opponent? Yeah, Thoughtseize a Thoughtseize. Makes our turn 1 easier. Do I want to keep up Veil? Probably can't afford to, honestly. Come on, see an Archon. I don't think I want to draw another Surveil land. Yeah. I'm going to go fetch a Stompy Looting, I guess. So maybe it's just looting, hold up mana to see if I want to bolt or veil. Considering their options. To put a persist in the bin, that means they must be trying to hit lands. Yep, trying to hit lands. Okay. So they got some gas, they just need to hit their land drop. I think we do this. I think we'll bin the bolt since push will deal with stuff better. And then one of our extra lands, although we currently have 4 lands plus creativity. Do I bin this persist? I guess so. It's not really good right now. It feels bad binning a persist, but it takes a little more. We technically already have the setup for creativity. I guess it's easier to defend persist here. Sure. I think I'll do this. I don't think they have anything that can protect this on their turn. Does mean I still don't have a green source, but again, this is better than bolt against the frog as well. So we dealt with 1 threat. Feels good to do that. We're kind of Thoughtseize proof, but we can go creativity into creativity. Or no, we only have the lands for 1. So we can't go get commercial district, so I'm going to get the Tri-land. Really feels like they're holding up a counterspell. I like Wrenn actually as a draw. Let's go for Wrenn because then I can set up for creativity with Veil Protection next turn. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Let's get this. Oh, I can't play it. Shoot. I forgot I already played out my land this turn. That was dumb. Okay. Whoops. It means Wrenn has to live to do what we want to do, unfortunately. But I'll go get the tap stomping ground with this on end step. I could get 2 dwarven. No. What's our opponent doing? They're surveilling. No hit. Keep it on the top. So yeah, we'll go get the Stompy. And then we will pick up a fetch. Go get a Dwarven Mine. This is going to force them to have double counterspell, and then we can do another creativity next turn, which is nice. Red, 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 red. Push and response. Veil? Wow, they didn't have a counterspell. Okay. There's no creatures out. So name instant. Next turn we'll go for another creativity. If it hits Archon, great. If it hits the Sarah's Emissary, we'll name creature. We know they can't answer this. They can just make their own like oculi or this feels like they're trying to cast Sink into Stupor, which is a instant. What are they casting? Oh, Oculus. They're making the Oculus. Okay, so we need this creativity to hit. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of the manifest plus creativity, so they can just sack the token. Unfortunately, if I hit Archon. Oh. I got an Archon in the graveyard, and I drew an Archon. Interesting. Is this... I can't target this with this, right? It's not an artifact. Do I want to just play the Dwarven Mine? No. I'll fetch. I think it's worth it. So we really hope we don't run into a force negation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're also getting close to being able to like hardcast this at least. I almost want to target this, but then it might flip into something better, right? Does play any artifacts? Probably not. Are you gonna try to push it? Because you can't do that. You could try, but you can't. Okay, we did get the Archon. Notably, it blocks the Oculus, which is great. Ooh, persist. Do we have a persist target? We don't yet. We can flashback looting persist next turn. Maybe. And again, because this has pro instance, like we're never worried about them like hitting it with a bolt or something, so we can just swing into this, which means they're dead next turn. What can they get that ends this? They get their own Archon. We sack our Archon to persist next turn. I think is the play. Yeah, I wish I had drawn one of my, I have 2 surgicals in here and all sorts of fun stuff, but I also could just sack Wrenn. I didn't even think of that. We'll sack the Wrenn and discard a commercial district. They can't attack in, and they're dead on our next turn. They can sack the manifest token to Archon, but Ours are both bigger. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna flashback looting, persist this Archon, which makes them super dead. They don't know that yet though. In their defense. Also, I can Dwarven Mind so that somehow if they get more Archon triggers, I'll be better off. Sarah's Emissary feeling great in this matchup, by the way. Oculus feeling broken, as always. Make a dude. Flashback looting. Wow, we're really good at making lands. Does this resolve? Yeah, okay. So I think we had it, even if that wasn't true. We swing, they have to sack this. I have to block at least one of them, which means they're either losing the Oculus, which means they lose all the Manifest tokens, or they're losing their Archon. The one thing they could have, if they have another persist in hand, they chump with the Archon, go to 3, or go to 4, because they'll chump the Emissary. Swing back. We take... Oh, that would be lethal. If I swing with both. No, I go up to 16, sorry. Anyways, Archon math is weird with both players have Archons. Interesting to keep in mind. Deck's feeling great still. That loss right at the beginning stings a little. Again, apologies for the misplay, but we're going strong. What do we got here? Well, we got a turn 4 creativity and otherwise only have a push. Is it worth it? We're against Young Dingo. Happy New Year. We could draw really well. We could also just draw lands. I don't really want to just sit here drawing lands again. It's a lot more keepable. We actually have things to do. I think without the Faithless Looting, I'm going to ditch the persist and keep as much interaction as possible. Am I seeing things? Is his text purple? Is that something you can change? It feels like he's playing energy. I can't afford to fetch shock even if I wanted to, because I want to be able to wrenn in 6, so unfortunately I have to just take a hit. And because I'm taking a hit, I'm going to leave this top. DB Young Dingo. He has a channel, right? MG Young Dingo. Is he currently streaming this? He is. I'll get rid of that. I'm not going to watch. So they got our Bitter Triumph. It's a New Year's stream. This might die to something, but I really wasn't looking at his hand when I looked. That's cool. Get to play into stream here. Bolt it? Yep. Oh, Tarfire. So this is an Unholy Heat build of some sort, I assume. Looting. Is this like Mardu Hollow one? I really didn't even look. Now I'm like curious. I just want to know what deck I'm facing, but I'll refrain. Arena and Flage, the combo One of the best combos in the game. Ooh, are we making hollow ones? This feels like a... No, we're dashing in a Ragavan. Interesting. What does he get this time? A land? Probably, yeah. I'm really good at drawing lands. So I think we just Thoughtseize. See what we're up against. It is Unholy. Oh, fear of it missing out. That makes sense. So it's a fear of missing out, like aggro deck. Play this. Next turn I can Dwarven Mind Creativity. I think I'm going to actually take the Heat because I have an answer to Fear or Ragavan. You can arena them. In my Bolt right here. So he's probably like, why did he take Unholy Heat? Well, it's because I'm going to make the old Creative Archon next turn. So he's got another arena. He's given haste to his fear of missing out. What did he draw? Oh, he's flashing this back. Am I dead? I might be dead. Huh. I think I was dead anyway, right? So it's 3 to me, puts me down to 8, and then I'm dead. Totally forgot how broken Plage is. Plage plus arena. Truly what's broken in Modern right now. Okay. Bring in surgicals and turns. No, not you. Probably don't want 2 of these, honestly. It's like, yes, I really want to hit Flage, but I guess Fable is just, like we've said many times, slow, pretty free. He probably doesn't have a way to deal with Emissary. Oh, wait, because if we persist it, it can be Unholy Heated. Otherwise, he'd have to double spell it. So if we name Creature, he's pretty locked out, and the second one can name Instant. So yeah, I guess we want the surgical. Plage is just so good. It's also a Delirium deck, so like... His hand's close. It's technically a turn 4, but only I can keep a hand that does nothing against a Ragavan deck. His hand does something at least. Ditch the second looting. Let's see if we can get really lucky off this first looting. Come on, deck. No, wrong button. Thoughtseize looting. Get rid of a third land. Get rid of the persist. We'll keep persist and looting and hope to get lucky. That means we have to teach the surgical. Dip the Thoughtseize, I guess. Oh wait, I already have a tab open. Yeah, MTG, and bingo. I'll pop into a stream and say hi after. Start with looting. No luck, so we will ditch the persist. I think I want to keep surgical because Flage is so hard for us to deal with, and we have bolts to hit other things. So that means ditching one of these lands. So I guess we'll take 2 here. I'll just kill it now. Oh, I didn't have to kill it now. I could have passed the turn. That was dumb because now I can play another one. Fomo. Ooh, does he discard a Flage? Oh, wait, the Phoenix. I think we want a surgical the Phoenix. I think we want to. Do I want a surgical Phoenix? I think I will. I think I'll use the blood crypt. I don't want to lose the life. Leaves us empty-handed against 4 cards. Maybe not. I think we need to save this for Flage on average. Let's see if he has a Flage. No Flage. Blood Moon. Guess we have to take that. Turns off half our combo. I haven't really seen what his white mana is for yet. Leaves him with 1 threat. That will be a 3/3. Assuming I bolt this. Fear of missing out. Yeah, he has a 3rd land. He can cast it. We'll pass and see what he tries to do here. I assume it's going to be Dragon Rage plus Detective Phoenix. Can we hit one of these? I think this is bestowed. It's still going to end up being a 2/2. But I'll try. He even triggers on non-creature spell for the creature. That's silly, yeah. It still becomes 2/2. So I should have waited. Well, no, I couldn't bolt it. It would be out of bolt range. So I'm going to go to what? 2, 4, 6. I go to 7. Not great. He has a heat plus 2 other cards in hand. And I'm sitting here with only 2 lands in my creativity deck. Can't even flashback looting. 2, 4, 6. Not technically dead yet. Yikes. Discarding the lands, not working out. I guess if this was a land, I would have already had it in play, and but flash running looting wouldn't actually be a good choice anyway. It's not like we'd be in a lot better place, but we would be closer to this creativity, I suppose. I'm just dead to Flage anyway. Don't think we actually really have an answer here because we can't actually get to creativity. We can't even play a fetch land to get Dwarven Mine. So, good games. See what we would have done. Nothing. Oh, I'm not logged into Twitch. We got our new one here. I will try to go talk to him on it. Will you stop popping up on this screen? Jeez. Kids these days never listen. Double Fable plus Bitter. And again, what is with we have a lot of only Dwarven Mind. Saying hi to Spike. I, like most modern Magic players, have followed him. I think we'll keep. I feel bad if this is good in this matchup, but I think on average we discard that. I'll hold up a fetch. Oh. Wonder if that's coming through my. Okay, our opponent is surveilling. Sorry. Twitch distracted me. Shop night. Do we surveil? Yeah, let's get a surveil in here. I guess I'll keep top because I have looting. And we can go ahead and fetch another surveil into looting and hope to just hit an archon in our top 1, 2, 3, 4 cards after fetch. So we're looking for 4 out of 4 hits on 51 cards. Only 30%. 28. Not terrible. Archon? 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 Hey-oh. Look it, we did it. We did it, fam. Is that still cool to say? Probably not. If I'm asking if it's still cool, probably not. What could they possibly have that we were worried about? I don't think they have things we're worried about. They can't. Oh. Okay. Yep. I fold to it. I think they might just be on Hollow One. I guess we don't even know for sure they're a graveyard deck. They just happen to play one surveil land. I feel like sideboarding might just dilute what we're doing here. I'm not going to bring in Sarah's Emissary until I know what we're facing. I'm bringing the one surgical. They are black. Let's bring in a veil for like Thoughtseize. We're finally not playing Force Negation. I think it's keepable. We got some decent interaction. We can, if we get a looting, we're good to go with a persist play, so. So it is just Mardu energy. Okay. They just had a really slow start, I guess. I don't think we want this to live at all. So we'll just bolt it now. Bolt the cat. We have another bolt and a push, so this is a pretty decent. We can like do either one next turn. Yeah, we'll go ahead and I guess we save push. Push can even kill a resolved, escaped. What's it called? Do I want to do? This would be too much life loss, I think, to like fetch, shock, and Thoughtseize as well. I'm gonna do this. We don't need that right now. Bolt this before they get any value off of it. Pass back. We got a third land drop. We got Thoughtseize push. We just need to, like, now we want to draw wrenn, creativity, or looting are all just amazing. Looting is our best draw. They got their own fable. Interesting. Feels like so grindy and slow. I guess I can make copies of ocelots and just go nuts. Looting? No. Really slow looting. Oh, I can just Thoughtseize. I even said that in the beginning of this video, remember? I was like, in a pinch, you can Thoughtseize yourself. It does a lot of damage, but she gets the job done. She gets the job done. And there's the looting, of course, the next card. That's funny. I could have just like played Fable or pushed their thing. Flage is pretty good. If they get an arena, they could Flage, escape with haste to kill our Archon, but hopefully they don't. The best combo in Modern, Arena plus Flage. Honestly, I hope Arena sticks around. I like it. I like it as a card. I hope that Flage gets banned. And I do think that makes the energy decks have to be kind of all in on aggro or become a mid-range deck, and either one I think is good. The fact that they can be insane aggro some draws, but always have an inevitable win con that comes in late is just too strong, in my opinion. I'd be fine if they get rid of a Johnny, or Guide is like the enabler they could get rid of, but I think it could enable other things that are fun and fine without Flage. Get to sack the cat, make a Johnny here. We'll say no thank you to the Johnny. They got 0 cards in hand, so this is dead. So I think we'll just... we'll wait. We'll wait to see what we draw. This will put them to 5. So yeah, they have to have like an answer this turn. They got one thing in play. They do have 2 energy. So I can make this Flage. I'm worried about. I want to go ahead and looting because I want to ditch this Thoughtseize. Plus another Archon. Okay. Wish we had a. If this was persist, this would be dope. But we'll just make a dude and pass. Fetch down to 4. Flage puts him back up to 7, 8 with Guided Souls. They could kill our dwarf token. Which is kind of fine, but kind of sucky that we had to kind of do this out of order. I guess any fetch is live, any persist is live. Oh, he gained a life from this entering. I forgot about that. It goes up 1 more than I thought. No arena means our Archon isn't dying, so that's good. They are going up pretty high, and they don't... We really need to, like, draw another... We've hit a lot of our removal, so we don't really have a lot more. Really, I just want to hit a fetch land, I guess. Let's gotta buff this up. Huh. I feel like he'd save that, but... So we can sack the Reflection. It's an enchantment. This isn't legendary. So I could kill the enchantment, and then he has to sack the guide or the Flage. So he sacks the guide. I feel like that's better than anything else, right? Better than playing Fable. Although Fable sets up indomitable creativity next turn. If I Fable, he can just kill it with Flage. Never mind. We gotta do this. Hopefully we just hit another land, I guess, off of Archon. If it's a fetch, we'll leave it up so we can fetch the Dwarven Mine. If it's not, we'll just play the Fable this turn. Just gotta sack the guide here, I assume, keeping Flage in play. Because Flage swings for 9, which is effective. We drew a useless card, unfortunately, so we'll have to yield through the turn. A persist would have been great there, too. How many? We have, what, 10 more fetch lands in the deck? Oh, did he draw a Bolt? It's bad for us. Oh, Thoughtseize. I assume he takes the creativity here. Yeah. Goes to 2. What? Oh, you can play a Flage. That makes sense. So our Archon's dead and they're at 2. They're at 5, sorry. Keep track of all this life gain. So we're not looking good here. Now we draw the Dwarven Mine. I could looting to dig for a persist, which would pretty much close out the game. There's only 3 left. I could play Fable. They're likely going to kill a token, but then next turn I could discard and draw. I think I want a looting. Didn't hit it. Definitely get rid of this. Because we left up this and not that, we can't. I think this is going to save us, so play this out. This does technically eat 3 damage at least. So we want to go to 6 here. No, I get a run in 6. Then I kill our dwarf token, we go to 6. We have another dwarf token, we're still dead next turn. We have no Faithless Lootings left. We draw a land. Dang it. Feels like we should have won that. Oh, that was a close one. Okay. Let's look at the Mardu decks. It is the top played deck these days. Pushes don't kill it. Galvanic Discharge could, so they still have static prisons. Probably, do they bring in Thrabins? Probably. Thrabins and maybe Spellbomb and Surgicals for our persist plan. Okay. I'm not keeping the Galvanic, so I feel like this might be worth it. Definitely want this. I don't know that we want Veil, because the stuff that actually targets our things is white or red. And just for Thoughtseize, I don't think it's good enough. The question is Thoughtseize. It's always like the age-old question, is it worth it against a aggro deck when we're losing life? I feel like this is probably worth it on creature on average. Plus they might be playing their own surgicals for our archons. So we go creature instant and be locked out entirely. We'll do Turn the Earth or Veil. He does have Orcish Bowmasters, but I think I'll do Turn. It has life gain, has value from our graveyard, and if we just hit a Flage, you know, that would have changed that game. I think I keep every hand that has Bolt plus looting, or Bolt plus push. We'll see what their first play is. If it's Guide, we have to fetch Shock on their turn. If it's Ocelot, we get to Surveil and then just Wrenn and 6 minus it. Opponent's really thinking about what they're fetching. Time is ticking away. Tick, tick, ticking away. Godless Shrine. Thoughtseize. Well, it's not the one we wanted to see, but we'll do Theater Stomping Ground, or do I do District Blood Crypt? Let's do District Blood Crypt. It leaves untapped sources of both in my deck. Oh. Ooh. Do we want to leave top? I think we just graveyard. We're gonna go get the other one, that's fine. If I assume, yeah, taking the wrenn 6. Oh, we got persist. I think I'm still gonna pass and maybe just surveil again before looting, because I don't really want to discard this or this. Like I want to keep all 3 of these cards, which means I have to hit something. So I'll wait until my looting has a little more value. I don't necessarily want to discard this either. Opponent knows we have 2 1-mana removal spells, so I'm curious what their plays are going to be. Maybe it's another Thoughtseize. I feel like if he does, he has to take the persist, leaving us with the removal still. Come on, opponent. Let's play. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, dear. Okay. Okay. We'll bolt here. And we'll fetch our own theater. We'll see an Archon or a Seer's Emissary on top. I don't want another Dwarven Mine. Let's draw an Archon. Nope. Do I do it now? I think we Thoughtseize now. They have Thoughtseize. Not so worried about that. Huh. Is it just guide? I'll take the fable. It's most value long term. I'll just play this out like this. See if he Thoughtseizes us again. He could take the push, resolve his guide. It's probably pretty good for him. Wait, I mean he probably has to take persist, never mind. Which means we get to just push the guide. Come on now. What are we doing here? It's obviously not looting. With nothing in the graveyard, I think it's probably fine to just take push. Because I can't, like the looting just has to like discard what it draws. And you want to get your threat out. I think. It depends on what his other card is he drew. If it's Ocelot, I think you definitely just take the push and jam. Ocelot, and then next turn you guide, swing, gain a couple life, make a dude. Took the looting. That's how did you draw that is your play? So I'm gonna push this, play this out to set up. I don't know if I fetch, honestly. I might wait on this just to set up later creativities without exposing my dwarf to dying, because this would be my 3rd mine already. Yeah, I think I'll just hold it up for now. Maybe next turn we just flashback looting, trying to make our persist live. If not, we ditch the persist and draw into something, hopefully. They're surveilling for a long time. Our opponent has been making some very thought out plays this round, you know, game 3 here. The first couple games went very quickly. What are we doing with a drunken sailor? Listen, if you have Flage, just put it in the graveyard. That's how you win the game. Works every time. Can I look at the league details? I'm afraid to click this and it like kicked me out. More info? Nope, that takes me to a dumb website. They finally put it on top of their library. Sure. It makes the flashback looting a lot less interesting. Well, I'm not hitting Thoughtseize, Guide of Souls, or the Fable with this, so we'll hold on to it. Maybe he casts a Flage this turn, that'd be great. Fable. This is one of those times where this feels like a decent draw. Opponent is pretty low. Triple Thoughtseize and fetches have put their life total pretty low. Wow, they surveilled an Ajani? Why would you not want an Ajani? The one thing that's nice about this is it feels like they're digging for Flage and we actually have an answer for it, so here's that. I'm surprised they didn't take a threat. I'm probably not discarding this, because like I said, Flage feels like one of the only ways we lose this. Do I discard a bolt with them at 9? I think so. I have better draws. That is comical. Again, I don't think I want to lose the cards in my hand. I'm just gonna pass. This feels weird because they would be potentially dead next turn. Okay, they're dead anyways. We did it. Honestly, I mean, the deck felt good. The losses here was to a really bad draw by me, and then tight play, arena, and Flage. Just too much. The loss here was a misplay by me in one of the games. So we could have put very easily could have been a 4-1. But all our matches, it feels like we have play. The deck still feels good. I do definitely believe in the Sarah's Embassy tech. Didn't bring in the Ashen Rider, but we didn't face any. That's for like leyline decks. Mostly. Where we used to bring in Terrestodon or whatever, or like Amulet Titan, I guess. But I think Emissary, maybe we don't need the Ashen Riders, or maybe they just need to be more Emissaries. Maybe there's games where we just want to be on 4 Emissary. Yeah, I mean, I can't say how the Meltdowns felt. Never drew them. The one match where we wanted them, they, hit in our deck. Graveyard Hate, again, we drew one once and it did nothing. We drew one another time, it also did nothing, but it meant that if they drew a Flage, we had an answer, so. I like Surgicals. Veil felt okay. I don't know that there's much I want to change. I think you could change these two one-ofs. You could just play more Surgical. You could play another Meltdown, another Veil. We could switch around some of the main, like I said. I felt like our balance felt pretty good. Maybe we want to trim on Fable. And I don't know. I don't know what we want to play else. It really just felt bad when we either drew a lot of lands or didn't draw enough lands. Our wrenn and 6s mostly felt good. It's mostly the secret. It's just like making all your land drops is very powerful. So I think that this build is worth playing, and I liked it. Might run it back again. Not sure if I could say it's the best deck in Modern anymore, just because I think we've proven that Flage decks and Frog decks are energy and Murktide, froculus are probably the best thing you can be doing in Modern for the next 3 months and 10 days or whatever. So get used to it, especially in 2 days once people are done testing decks. Hope you have a great new year.